Hey everyone, it's Jess. I want to show you how to make this really cool layered bangle bracelet. It's using some of our products from our first release of our designer series line. These bangles have been very popular. There's a lot of really fun ways you could layer different embellishments and filigree on them. And I want to show you this technique here. So to get started, I'm using the 13 millimeter 18 gauge layering bangle. These are one size. You could adjust it just by, pulling these ends open a little bit more, but it's a one size fits all, and you can do a whole lot of fun things with this. You could see the shape of it. This area here in the front is flat, and then it curves here around your wrist. So this is really great for gluing and layering different things on that surface. So I'm working with a few embellishments and filigrees, and I prepped a couple of pieces starting out. So this here is our 49 millimeter ornate wreath filigree, and I hammered it completely flat. You can see there's no dap in this. I flattened it out, and then I applied some patinas to the surface. I did verdigris with a little bit of emerald and a very, very teensy dot of onyx. To get this color here. It's really pretty kind of teal, like bluish green. And I just simply applied the patina to that, let it dry, and then I sanded, like a relief, just the edges only, to show some of that brass coming through. And then on our Water Lily Maiden, you could leave it as is. It's obviously beautiful in this natural brass finish. I went ahead and just put a tiny bit, I lightened it up. You could see it's a little bit lighter. I added some of our antique copper patina, mostly around her, and then I went in on top of that with the aged bronze, and then reliefed the raised areas there. So like I said, you could obviously just go ahead with the natural brass. And then the last piece you're going to need is the 60 millimeter diamond swirls wrapping filigree. This is the larger version. There's two of the diamond swirls filigree, so make sure you have the larger one, and that's what's going to hold these pieces together in the back. So to get started, you're going to need E6000. This is an industrial strength adhesive, and it works really great for metals and for jewelry. So there's a hole in this filigree. I don't know if you could see that here. And when gluing this piece, you're going to want that hole to be kind of on an angle here on the side. What we're going to do, the top and bottom is going to be more of this like swirl type of a look instead of this pointed edge. So just have that off to the side. The filigree will cover it. So we're going to layer this on top like that. So I'm going to start off by applying the glue to the high points of the Water Lily Maiden. So there's a few like flat kind of high points on the back. You don't need to put it inside the dapped area where the form of her is, because it won't hit any of the filigree to adhere. Okay, and then I'm just going to apply a little bit to these flat, large edges, kind of flower design on the filigree. Just those four. And you could have a paper towel handy when doing, or even just on a piece of like printer paper or something when gluing. So I'm just going to go ahead and set that in place. Now you want this to adhere for a good hour or a few hours. I let it sit for quite some time, for a few hours, but a nice tip or trick to help keep this in place and to adhere well all around is I like to use binder clips. You could use small ones like this or a medium size, even large for some pieces. Works great. But just go ahead and hold these pieces in place, and then open your binder clip and add it to two opposite sides at least. So I'm going to go ahead and add it there and then add it to the bottom. Once you do that, you could feel that the pieces really, they're nice and have a nice tight connection, and that's going to go ahead and dry and adhere well and not slip and move around. So now you can go ahead and set your piece to the side, let that dry before you do the wrapping. But I magically have a piece already glued together here that I did previously, so we'll go ahead and continue. Okay, so now to do this is pretty simple. You're going to take that filigree, and you could leave it as is for wrapping, but something that helps a little bit is taking a chain nose plier and flattening out just each of these petals a little bit. It kind of helps it wrap around this larger surface better if the back is flattened, just because of, you could see here how the swirls, they just, barely reach. So by flattening it, that's going to help for a good connection. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this behind the filigree like that. Or sorry, bring it behind the bangle. And now I'm going to hold all these pieces in place. And I'm going to start kind of bending some of these around. Okay, so I have that, and now you can go ahead and take your pliers and start to form your opposite sides. Okay, and as you can see, I didn't fold them all the way in yet because I just want to make sure each side is reaching around. So now I'm going to go back in and start to grab it and crimp down those pieces to secure it. So just use your chain nose pliers and kind of go around each one. There you go. So that seems nice and tight. Nothing's moving around on here. You can go from the back side and crimp along kind of the bangle here in this area as well. Just a little extra security on that. All right. And then this will slide a little bit, which is fine. So now you can kind of really slide it into place to make sure it's nice and straight. But as you can see, that was really super easy. There's so many really great focals that you could do with this bangle and do the same type of technique. Another filigree we have here is this beautiful round layering filigree. This would work the same way. It's a tiny bit bigger than the ornate wreath, but many things could work with this as well. So give it a try and have fun. Bye.